You know, that Illuminati level where they pay like $9 grand for fucking eggs, you know, and then afterwards you go up and shake his hand and say, oh, you want to put a pipeline through a teepee, right? And he lets it happen because you gave him all this money for eggs, right?
Titans of industry.
Yeah, and then afterwards, then they all go out and they do the speech circuit, and that's how they all make money. They go back to the guys that bought the eggs 8 years earlier, right? And they give their stupid speeches, right? As the people in the crowd are eating like a deep-fried eagle, right? They don't care about America. And, no, that's what kills me about Obama. All this stuff they're showing him like he's this hero, you know what I mean? Every, like, picture of him now, he's always, like, kayaking, you know? Looks like an erectile dysfunction ad, you know? Like, this guy didn't do, like, he didn't do all these drone bombings. Like, were those terrorists? Were they playing hacky sack? I don't know. You want some soft-shell crab? You know, like, he wasn't part of that? Sorry, so this is why I don't talk politics, because I'm into conspiracy theory, man.
Are you really?
I'm into it, yeah.
How Alex Jones deep, or?
I think that whoever runs this is a robot and didn't, like, map out what human beings are shaped like, which is why they sort of had an idea of what chairs were, and that's what they... So this show is making me paranoid. No, I don't do like that the moon is made out of cheese or anything like that. I just think people are inherently evil, and if they get the opportunity to take more, they're gonna do it. And I think, yeah, I think that's what's going on.
So no, don't pay attention to politics because it's not. There's nothing that you can really
I tried to watch that guy testifying today. That was one of the most boring things I've ever seen in my life. It's like, why don't they just say it? Like, did the Russians fuck with the election? They don't. They go, oh, it's September 6th at 11 a.m. How would you just? He just like, I think they do that on purpose so no one pays attention. And then somewhere in the. They sort of whisper it like 9 hours in. Did the Russians fuck with it? Oh, okay. And then they just sort of plow through. Was that what it was about? Wasn't it about that?
Something like that.
The head of the FBI or something?
Yeah, James Comey, the former director of the FBI.
I just know he's 6'8", which was hilarious.
Humongous.
I just pictured him in the police academy, like when he had to go over that giant wall, him just like stepping over it. And he had to buy like one of those custom sweatshirts.
Huge legs.
Yeah, at some point, aren't you too tall to be a cop? You can't, he's gonna be on undercover, just his whole head sticking out of the car. What's with that 7-foot guy over there who keeps following us around? I'm starting to feel like, you can't blend in at 6'8", right?
You can't do a stakeout at all.
No.
So going back to the special, you said that, you know, you felt like it was a mistake because you shouldn't cover politics. Does that mean that there's no politics in the future of any of your specials at all?
I don't know. I might, if something, like the bit I'm doing now is I talk about Hillary, because I'm like fascinated not by who wins, it's like by who loses. Just the level of fame that you had, you know, and everybody caring, and there's news trucks and all that, and all of a sudden the second you lose, as you're giving your speech, like, you know, we fought a good fight, and they're like wrapping up wire, and all the vans are driving away. It's like you were in NSYNC and you weren't Justin Timberlake, so then you got to wait for his movie career to dip so you can do a cruise or some shit. And it just fascinates me that dream didn't come true, and she's married to a guy where it did come true. And they got to be in the same house. And the tension of that, it's just got to be excruciating.
And he's arguably one of the reasons that you might have lost as well.
Yeah, because she didn't involve him. Yeah.
What do you mean because she
That's like when the Rams didn't give the ball to Marshall Faulk. It's like, why wouldn't you do that? This guy's he's a beast. He had the job for 8 years. He got impeached. They still couldn't kick him out. He fucks around all the time, and women still love him. I mean, the guy he's like bulletproof.
Yeah.
You already saw Al Gore not use him and lose. Why would you do that again? Stupid move. Stupid move. Yeah, and then they tried to blame racist white people. That was the dumbest theory ever. It's like, where were all those racists the last two elections when they could have voted against a black guy? They were fine with that, but this white woman is going to take my jet skis, right? I love this dude texting for the entire interview. It's just trying to keep the attentions of millennials. It's like impossible. Look at him. He's already got the chains. He's probably got his own record label. He's like making deals as we speak. He's got championship rings on. I don't know what you're doing, dude, but I want your life, man. You're crushing it.
So are you in the process?
I cannot get comfortable in this fucking chair. This is just like one of the worst things. This should be like in a museum, is like the prototype. This is what, this was the awful level of comfort. We went from a log to this, and then eventually they got cushions. It's another guy looking at his phone. I swear to God. Dude, the day Jesus comes back, if he ever does, if he's even a real person, like 90% of people are gonna miss it. They're gonna walk right. He's gonna be walking on water and they're immediately walking by him. They're not even gonna see it. Oh yeah, and there's a drop off in fame for Jesus at that point. Everyone was paying attention. Now no one gives a shit. Oh, there we go. No, but now this is like the ego one. Now I'm gonna be sitting above you.
Yeah,
you gotta come
man.
with two. It's fine. It's fine, sir. The one comedy through line that's working here is me shitting on this chair. Why would you take that from me? You're just totally going against the grain. I understand it, but you got on camera, so I think you get paid, even though this is online.
Because I know you're kind of, I don't want to say you're into conspiracy theories, but you're into looking at and not just accepting things. You kind of see the bigger picture.
People don't handle a position of power well.
Yeah.
I'm a good example of it. Everybody, you know, it's not something human beings are good at, generally speaking. Some people, every once in a while, you get like a saint that is, but like, no, I think, you know, either it's absolute chaos out there, or I think that the reason why the richest people aren't concerned about what they're doing to the environment is because they're going to replace us with robots, is what I think. I know it sounds fucking nuts, but I do. I think they're going to replace us, and then they're going to live, and then there's going to be a group of us where our job is going to be to reproduce, so they have organs that they can harvest and continue to live forever.
Pretty sure this was a Matt Damon sci-fi movie at some point.
Well, look, iRobot.
I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying, like,
it's a possibility.
I just look at, like, well, if you look at the shit that corporations do,
yeah,
you know, to the drinking water and prolonging wars and all the shit that they fucking do, you know, getting these guys bought and paid for. All these fucking guys who've been president, they all come out, they're worth like Obama's worth like 80 million, Clinton's worth hundreds of millions, Bush's are worth hundreds. It's like, how do you do that? You were in public service. You made $500,000 a year at the highest paid level as a president for 8 years. That's $4 million. I don't know, even if you didn't pay taxes.
Yeah. How
did you get that thing to multiply by 4 to 8? And then, well, they do these speaking engagements, and then you look who they speak to, and it's the people who fucking put them in office. It's like they're washing the bribe money. They don't even try to hide it.
Yeah.
So
I imagine you don't have an Amazon Alexa in your house.
What is that? Oh, that's that lady? No. The woman you talk to that makes you dumber, records all your shit, and like, you're never going to be able to run for president ever.
There's many reasons why I can't, but yeah.
If you're ever going to, what that thing's going to do is just totally record everything that you say, everything that you say in your house, okay? And then they're just going to have keywords.
Yeah.
They'll type in the N-word. They'll type in homophobia. They'll type in whatever the fuck you said. I don't know what you say at home.
I don't know what I say at home.
Alexis will.
Yeah.
And they'll have anything, and they'll just string it together. And if they don't have enough, you'll say it. Have said enough shit.
Brad, he's exactly right.
They'll sew it together.
Howard Stern does it.
What's that?
It takes like sound bites and strings them together to make, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like there's
no reason why.
Yeah,
there's one case.
I think that's what they're going to.
There was one case where they actually solved a murder because the person who got killed had an Alexa, and it recorded the murder. So they went in, they got the recording, even though you're like, that's not recording. Turns out.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it is.
One of those fucking people who makes the flat screen TVs got busted. They were watching you on the camera, watching TV. Now, what if you're banging your wife? What are they doing? And the fact that there's and the fact that, you know, if one person gets your address and everybody gets your address and they're selling your private information with all the stalkers and psychos out there, but like they put politicians in office so they don't get in trouble for all the horrible shit that they're doing, which is why I think robots, they'll take over and they'll harvest our organs. And now it all makes sense.
Where they bring the person in.
That's how Donald Trump, I think, became president. Anytime there's a roast, the problem is, okay, we're going to roast Adam, right? There's only so many angles. We all know him in the same fucking way. None of us are Alexis. I'm sure Alexis could do fucking 2 hours on it. So you have to have that other person that gets invited.
Right.
Who's always excited that they were invited, but don't realize the reason why they were invited is because it's going to be open season on them. And I
Courtney Love at the Pamela Anderson roast.
Yeah.
The Situation from Jersey Shore.
Yeah. Carrot Top got it bad one time.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and Donald Trump got invited to that Obama thing. And if you notice, As far as, I mean, I obviously wasn't there, but it looked like they sat him right in the middle of the fucking room.
So
yeah.
Seth Meyers could find him.
He was perfectly lit.
He was a layup, and I think that he was so fucking mad.
He didn't even move.
He ran for president. What's so fucked up is then, like, I don't know when that was, but like within 4 years of that, he's walking into Obama's house like, see you later. I mean, it was like a fucking, it was like the end of Empire Strikes Back. You know? when like Darth Vader wins, it was just like, wow, man, I can't wait to see the next one. This is crazy. So,
I did one of those Ancestry.com things where I spat
Why
in
did
the
you do that?
Well,
They're making a fucking robot of you right now to take over the show.
And all I found out was that I'm the whitest person that's ever been built. Like the most diverse thing from me was 1% Scandinavian. It was all British and just nothing. They just sent me back a picture of Hanson.
Nothing. What happened to white people's self-esteem? Just nothing. You're shitting all over those
I wanted
countries.
to be a little bit exotic, just to something no one's ever
You got
gone.
an accent. You're
Yeah,
crushing it over here. You just order a coffee. Women start fainting.
Are you worried about the world that we're leading into?
Yes. Yeah, tremendously. Robots, social media, microchipping, all of this stuff that 10 years ago people thought I was out of my mind, and now you're just seeing it happen. That place in Wisconsin, some sort of company, these fucking morons agree to get microchipped. It's just the dumbest
Oh, the one
thing.
in the hand where they're going up to Coke machines. Like, this is
it's
so much
convenient.
easier.
It's so convenient, you know? Dude, you know in the future there's going to be no cash, and they're just going to have all your money on that thing, and then bullies are just going to be grabbing your hand and swiping it across. I don't want to pay for this! I don't want to pay for this!
Yeah, I
There has to be a thing, though, if they cut your hand off, that the chip shuts off. Because guys will just, psychos will cut people's hands off, you know, and tie a tourniquet if they give a shit about you bleeding out, and then they'll just walk around with your hand, and when nobody's looking, they're just gonna take it out.
So
they'll just pay for stuff.
You know, I'm with you with the technology thing, because, like, arguably, me and you are both a product of the internet. Like, we got popular through people putting our clips up of stand-up, and that's how we got the following and all that type of stuff. But I'm not a big internet guy. I think it's not good for society. See, I'll tell you why. Because what happens with the internet is, it used to be, we lived in a world where, let's say you fucked a pig, right?
As you do?
Yeah.
It's an intelligent animal. It actually feels like an accomplishment.
Yeah. So you fuck a pig. Now, a person who fucked a pig used to feel alone in society. Used to go, I shouldn't fuck pigs. Probably I'm the only person in the world who fucks pigs. And now they can get on the internet and go, who else fucks pigs? And now they're part of a community.
I would agree. You know what it is? The internet lets you delve into the darkest parts of your mind, and it's not good. And it's like you've been on amount of porn I've watched. I might as well worked on Vice Squad for the last 30 years, and it kills a part of you, you know. And I just think that, I don't know. I think social media was like a good experiment, but it didn't. It just doesn't work.
No, we shouldn't know that many people.
We shouldn't, and I don't think people should be allowed to make comments anymore. I think we need a little more China in our internet. Yeah. Because it's depressing. Every video you look at, it's just inevitable before it gets into politics, racism, and all of this stuff. I mean, God forbid anything that you watch on there. I was watching this thing, like, I'm fascinated with, like, how evil chimpanzees are. Like, we finally discovered that they, like, eat other monkeys.
Did you just see Planet of the Apes, or?
That's not real, dude.
Oh, right.
They don't really talk.
Well, that fucks my next question.
No, they were just showing these things and how they actually hunt down other monkeys and they eat them, and they're fucking lunatics. I can't say lunatics. They're just not like these things that you can put overalls on and hang out in your house. They're going to rip your face off. So I'm watching, I'm reading it. It just was blowing my mind. And then, of course, underneath it was just all this racist stuff about black people and all this stuff. It just ruined it. Ruined the whole... I thought it was going to be a bunch of other people all fascinated, going like thinking shit that I was thinking, like, dude, what would you do if the fucking thing was coming at you? What would you grab? If you had a knife, would you try to stab it or just kill yourself before it tore your foot off? That's what I thought it was going to be, and it wasn't. It was just a bunch of people going with their redneck stupid shit.
It's a fact that people feel need to comment on it. Even when you watch porn, there's people underneath like, I enjoyed it, but the black guy ruined it. And it's like... and you're like, there's so many porn options. Just
Gets
go,
off.
no blacks. And then you enjoy it. If that's your racist fucking thing that you need to do.
Some guy in a Klan suit with like the fucking front coming up with his dick. Some racist porn, right?
See, that's the thing with having a kid now in porn, because when I was young, there's that idea that I had 2 porn magazines that I stole from a dumpster behind a newsagent's, and then I actually buried them a mile away from my house because my mother kept going. I rode on my bike with 2 magazines, found a tree, and then I dug a hole next to the tree and I buried these magazines. And once a week I'd ride my bike out to this magical tree, and I would wank behind the tree like a chimp. Right now. But my point is, like, my kid now gets on an iPad and he can't read or write his own name, and he's just like choosing things. By the time my kid's like 10, he'll just be waking up in the morning, putting his virtual reality goggles on, and he'll be like, triple fisting, please. Right?
Oh my God!
No, like he'll say please because I brought him up right, but it's gonna have manners, that little cunt.
That literally hurt my heart to hear that kids are gonna do that, man. I have a theory that technology should have stopped right around 1995.
Right.
We could cure enough diseases. Cars were good enough. It was right around there. We should have just stopped, and we're not. We're gonna keep going. I don't know where any of this goes. I don't watch the news.
Where do you get your news from?
People correcting me on Twitter. That's where I get it from. People go, oh, maybe you should read this, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, you know how people make points. Hey, fuckhead. Maybe if you read that, like you're gonna get past, hey, fuckhead. Like, oh, what is your point? But I still do. I click on it, and then I read their idea, what's the truth, and then I start spewing that out in bars. And I don't. I try to stay. I try to stay a healthy level of kind of knowing what's going on, because I go in front of crowds and then just completely not know what's going on. I lose myself in hobbies, and I don't want to see any of it, because then it's going to be depressing, and then all the racist morons and idiots are just going to be yelling at each other underneath it. And I find the internet to be it's this odd combination of really exciting and mostly depressing. Like, it's great for sports stats. Watching an old movie, Hollywood movie, is that guy still alive?
Yeah.
You know, you play that game.
Yeah.
I get fascinated if I watch a movie and everybody in it's dead. I'm like, they're all dead. Look at that kid. That kid grew up, got old, and he's dead. I don't know why. I mean, the internet's good for that type of stuff. But then all this other stuff, I don't know. It's this weird thing where everybody's just completely out of control. Yet if you go to a comedy club, like, they're really, like, the millennial kids are super conservative. Like, it's flipped. I was at the Laugh Factory last night. They were like, they're like groaning and shit. It's just like, dude, I'm fucking old. You should be shocking me. I was just like, oh my God, that bald 49-year-old. Holy shit, he was out of control.
I don't know your political leanings. I know you, and I've watched you a lot on stage. Would you call yourself a liberal or a conservative?
I thought I was liberal until I moved out here. And then there's just like this psycho extra level of liberal, where it's just like they are as insane as some of the craziest people on like a right-wing thing. Like, they're just totally extremists, and I find there's a lot of bullying out here, just as much labeling, but they're patting themselves on the back because they feel like the way they think everything should be is so right because they live near an ocean.
That ocean will do it to you.
Oh, the ocean. Second you see the ocean, you start thinking you know things. It all depends. It depends on the situation. I'm a big believer in helping out people that need help, but I'm also a big believer at some point you gotta like quit your whining, and you gotta because nobody gives a fuck about you or your dream.
Right.
Okay? That it's up to you to care about it. So you have at the end of the day, you got to make shit happen. They're only going to push you behind the bicycle for so long to make sure you don't tip over. So, and it's just, it really, the art of it is when to apply it, which I'm not saying I know how to do, but like there's sometimes I'm really empathetic, And then there's other times it's like, oh, will you shut the fuck up? You know, it all depends.
That's the thing that I see that infuriates me about America is this whole idea of the American dream. And it's like, if you work hard and you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything. And this whole idea that there's a dream. And I agree with that. Everyone agrees with that. But it's not a distinctly American thing. Everywhere believes that. You know that, right? It's not like in Australia we're just going, I thought if I hit me head in a hammer, then eventually I'd have a house. You know what I mean?